Will VGK win the Stanley Cup again? It's a question that everyone is asking. We talk about an ESPN.com article with some pros and cons.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We come to you from Las Vegas. Make sure that you subscribe on the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Of course, you could find us wherever you get your podcast. And we are on Twitter at Tony Dasco. That's me. He is at TD Chris G. And we can be found at Locked On VGK. Chris, the ESPN article by Kristen Shelton. And it's got some pros and cons, and it's asking the question that everyone's been asking, can VGK repeat? So she points out that 7 skaters had 15 or more goals. That's pretty good, right? Very balanced scoring, which we've talked about. 6 had over 60 points. That's good. Again, balance. Can VGK do it again? One more time? Can they do it one more time? As Bruce Cassidy and Daft Punk probably alluded to, they might say. Didn't you write about
Daft Punk?
One more time. You know that song, One More Time.
Shut up, Tony.
That's later.
Oh.
Didn't you write some stories about pros and cons about VGK?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I did. I think I told you last week. I did. On Friday, I did the foul mood Friday, kind of why maybe Vegas might not do well in a repeat attempt, and then Monday was the follow-up motivational Monday as to why things will go better. We had to get everyone off to a good start. They were a little upset after the weekend and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as at least for me, the biggest pro is the fact that it's the same team pretty much minus Riley Smith. But to start last season, the Golden Knights did not have Ivan Barbashev, so that part's a wash for me. And then from there, we can kind of dig in a little deeper.
And the VGK core remains, as Shilton said, as we know, and Aiden Hill is back. So that's, again, another big piece.
Sure, yes. Aiden Hill coming back is a big piece. That does not change the perspective that I am concerned about the goaltender situation. And Aiden Hill's and Logan Thompson's, I got the names right, guys. I got the names right. It only took till Wednesday. But the fact that those two, it's better to say it like that, have not had more than, Logan Thompson, 38 starts last year or games played, one of the two. And then Aiden Hill, I got it right again, 27 starts, which was a career high. Can those two goalies be counted on to get 70-ish starts? That would be really nice. Then the plan works, right? Then the plan works if they can collectively have 70 or greater starts. If you get south of 70 starts, and for the moment at least, you have to rely on Patera, that's a concern. That would definitely be a concern. Now, if Patera can get between 5 and 8 starts while Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill have a healthy year, that's a productive year because now Patera is being developed and you're still getting that quality goaltending from Hill and Thompson.
Okay, and of course, win at all cost, a.k.a. skirt the cap. And we don't know what's going to happen with Robin Lehner. And
he's not going to be a factor. He's a non-factor. He's a non-starter.
But it has to be a big move. Educated guess. LTIR.
Yeah, the Golden Knights would not have gotten Aiden Hill and Barbashev extended if it was not for the potential of Robin Lehner not factoring one way or the other when it comes to the salary cap next season, whether it's LTIR, whether they're able to do some type of trade if need be, where they basically ship him to whatever, or something goofy, but he's on LTIR, so they can't trade him for the moment. But it could be like the Shea Weber situation, where if someone is basically not coming back, then you could still trade him. So there's a lot of different things that can play in, but long story short, Robin Lehner is not going to factor against the salary cap for the Vegas Golden Knights next season.
Kristen Shilton also pointed out something that we have discussed before, in addition to luck, of course, because you do need a lot of luck to win a championship, health could be an issue. Health could definitely be an issue because they played pretty much scot-free down the stretch there. With Colorado last year, we saw the injuries that they sustained following a cup win, and a lot in the NHL depends on the health of a team. And for VGK, you have to point towards Mark Stone when you're talking about health.
I mean, Mark Stone, you got Alec Martinez from an age perspective. Braden McNabb is getting up
LT,
there.
but even like in LT,
Yeah, no, LT
injuries.
and Aiden Hill both, I got the names right again. They've both had injury issues, and that is something that no one's going to know until the season starts how these players react. It's a short summer. We'll start right there. It's a fun summer. They're partying. They're doing their things. So, maybe their July conditioning, workouts get pushed back to August or something like that, which might not help. I don't know how these guys handle it, but I'm assuming a lot of the off-season regimen has been pushed back a little bit, which they've earned that right. Like, no one's going to get mad at them for that. You have to have the right blend of luck and variance for things to work out, but the Golden Knights had bad luck for the last 2 injury seasons and found ways to get through it. So depending on how severe the bad luck is, the Golden Knights might be able to get by. You have to wait and see, obviously, how that whole thing is going to shake out. But if there are injuries, putting it maybe not as aggressive as Tony, if there are more injuries and people are expected to miss long term and stuff like that, then obviously McCrimmon is going to find ways to plug those holes in the lineup until the players come back for the playoffs. I said it, I'm sorry. But they'll find a way to do that. And that goes back to the comments about Kristen saying that winning at all costs. They are not going to, if there's an opportunity to make a playoff run, McCrimmon is going to find a way to add pieces to this lineup so they can have that deep run. But you look at a team like Tampa Bay, that's where I would go back to now. Same team pretty much. I mean, they're turning over some of the lower parts of the lineup, but they've had pretty much the same core for feels like the last decade now. Mm-hmm. And they're just at that spot right now where they're trying, but those dudes just getting up there. I don't know if they got another run in them or not.
16 teams have repeated, and this is a short summer, and that definitely concerns me. I don't really like the way VGK has come back. Of course, the season where they did not make the playoffs. The only season they didn't make the playoffs was the one that had a very it was a disrupted season prior to that. All the COVID stops and starts, the short season, and everything sort of got backed up for the VGK. So for me, that is a big factor, and it's even shorter now with this Cup tour that's taken, they said a month, but it feels like it's going to go on even longer than that. So I don't know when it's back to business for the VGK, and I don't know if they've started yet to get back into the flow.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was going to try to look up. I wanted to look up the game logs from the 2018-2019 season and see how the team started, because still short summer, not a Stanley Cup celebration summer, but still a short summer, and there was a lot of roster turnover because that team was not sustainable and all of that fun stuff as we try to figure all of that out. So I'm curious how that team started and if we can expect a similar start coming into this year. But yeah, I mean, all the summer, I almost said cap shenanigans, all the cup shenanigans.
No. Stanley Cup.
I don't know. You sound like everyone else right now on Twitter when someone makes a comment and then someone else says, "Oh, Gary Bettman gifted the team the cup," or Mark Stone. Like, okay, just shut up there. Shut up, Tony. So yeah, we'll see how the summer affects this team, and the fact that it's in Vegas, where all the parties and shenanigans started. And these guys are, when they get back together in the fall, I mean, people are kind of everywhere right now. Although we'll have a lot of people coming to town this weekend for the Riley Smith, the former Vegas Golden Knight. That just sounds weird to say right now, guys. That still hurts a little bit. The former Golden Knight Riley Smith will have the gang back together for his annual Battle for Vegas celebrity softball game, which will be a wonderful time. I will be there. Credentialized, hanging out, getting some content and interviews and pictures, and maybe I'll be in right field, pouring back some 7.5 brew with Ryan Reeves, while we're shagging fly balls or something like that.
Coming up next, where will former VGK assistant coach Misha Donscov wind up? He's kind of a forgotten man. And tracking the Stanley Cup. We get to that. We return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take your first swing at betting MLB on FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet and bonus bets up to $200. That's right. Just $20 is all you have to bet, and you will land $200. And those will be in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 that you could spend on everything. You could do it from the money line to the that's the over-under, of course, if you don't know. Well, the money line is it, but you have over-under total betting. You also have who can hit the first home run. Doing this 3 times a week, man. I'm not in the flow today. I'm not going to lie. It's all on the app that's safe, it's secure, it's super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. That I do know, and that I can profess. So there's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Sign up today. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn. You get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel, the official partner of Major League Baseball. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas, the city of the Stanley Cup champion, Vegas Golden Knights, you might add. And the Sphere. I always throw in the Sphere now. We appreciate you making us your first listen. Thanks for joining us each and every day. Now thanks for joining us 3 days a week because we are on that summer schedule now.
Yes.
That's got me all functified, if that is even a word. And make sure that you tune in on Fridays.
Probably a Daft Punk song.
No, that wasn't. I was at the last show for Daft Punk. Okay. They did the Pyramid Show, and that was out at Sam Boyd Stadium for Vegas, which was a festival that should have been much bigger, and they just went away after 2 years. Okay, so I've reached out to my sources, right, contacts back in Columbus, Ohio, and so far I don't have an official confirmation that former Golden Knights assistant coach Misha Donscov could be hired to fill a vacancy there with the Blue Jackets. So Donscov, just to set the stage here, he's from Columbus. So he lives back there, and we saw the cup was there at his center. And he came to Las Vegas with George McPhee and Katie Bottinger, who just had the cup over the weekend. Both connects of Made Man McPhee. You like that? And he ran a lot of youth programs back there for CBJ. Donscov Hockey Development is there located in Columbus. And a guy, one of the assistant coaches, Kenny McCudden, had left, right, and resigned. This could be a good fit because there is a relationship between Mike Babcock and Donscov, who was an assistant under Mike Babcock with Team Canada. So they coached on the Team Canada team for a while. But again, I keep thinking of just that odd departure of Donscov. And here's a guy that McPhee had called all sorts of great things. I mean, glowing reviews. Just how he once said that Donscov does everything at a high level with an extreme level of preparation and planning. And I just don't understand why he's gone. I can't.
I mean, we don't know what happens behind closed doors, and we don't know what both sides are thinking at times. And everyone wants everything to come across as hunky-dory and happy. And, the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup. Nothing, there's no trouble in paradise right now. And I don't think there's much trouble in paradise, but maybe the two didn't see eye to eye. Maybe there was something when Cassidy was brought in. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole lot of questions you can ask, but you mentioned the odd departure to set the table there. Donscov was wished, good luck in his future endeavors. Just stop right there for a second, guys. We've all been a part of a corporate world some way or another. And good luck in future endeavors is not, at least in my opinion, the most endearing terminology to use when someone is no longer with the organization. Tony, that was for you. that is something, that's just code for, okay, he's gone, let's move forward, let's forget about it, or something happened. Like, it wasn't this long, rich goodbye, I mean, they put the picture, good, thank you, whatever, but it wasn't this big, long sob story, I guess. Maybe it was like ripping off the Band-Aid. Okay, good luck in your future endeavors. Bye. Thanks.
Yeah, we do know that Donscov is jobless right now, because my contacts back there in Columbus know that he's on the radar, and they said they wouldn't be shocked to find out that he becomes an assistant coach there. And now, so Donscov started out as the director of hockey operations here in Vegas.
Yes.
And then moved into the full-time assistant's role, if I'm not mistaken. And so, I just don't know what could have gone awry between, well, again, McPhee was the guy that provided him the safe haven, if you will. And so suddenly he's just out. And it's so peculiar to me.
It is. And, the Ducharme hiring is still kind of a strange one for me as well. And there's going to be more that's going to come out about this at some point, probably this offseason. We'll probably hear about it 9:30 on a Tuesday night or something like that, because that's basically when Donscov's tweet came out from the team. It was 8:42 on a Sunday night. Like, I don't understand. I mean, that's a big story. Like, it's not like we're talking, the third assistant to the towel boy or something like that. This is a major part of this team. He's a day oneer, a huge part of this team. It doesn't take long to simply do a Google search for him and see what he's done for the team. You talk to anyone within the team, they have nothing but the highest of marks to give him. And it just doesn't seem like it's one of those spots where, okay, hey, listen, I just won a Stanley Cup. I'm going to try to take another job elsewhere and elevate myself. Because obviously Bruce Cassidy is pretty, cemented, at least for the next few years here in Vegas. So, maybe Donscov wants to go somewhere else to get, I don't know. I mean, there could be all sorts of what ifs here. You got a guy that you talk to about him. I got a guy I talked to about Donscov, and they think that Babcock might kind of have his own person set aside. But like you said, there is a history with Babcock and Donscov, so that could be the guy.
I hope so. I hope he lands somewhere good. He's a very good.
Well, and to get to go home, that's the other thing. Like, I think people don't understand.
Your backyard, that would be great, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think as people that follow sports, you and I, and as fans follow sports and things like that, I think a lot of people, and I love talking about the human element of this. And people, we look at these athletes as pawns and stuff like that, call it what it is, right? They're helping pay our bills, right? I mean, let's be fair about this. They're helping, provide entertainment and stuff like that. And, a lot of times we forget there's families involved, there's real life involved. And I think getting to the opportunity to possibly go home or be in your backyard, I think people forget about the value of that. And if that's why he left the Golden Knights, I think it would be amazing. It'd be a wonderful story if he does get to ride out the next, XYZ amount of years of his career in his backyard. I mean, he's got his roots there. He gives back to the community there. And I hope, if that's the reason, I hope it does work out for him.
Yeah, he definitely got fired, though, the more that we're finding out. There's no doubt. Mutual party.
Yeah, no, mutual, yeah. And that's never like, they agreed to mutually terminate the contract. Like, okay.
And if I went back, I was reading some stories over the weekend. Donscov, they thought, was fast-tracked to become eventually a general manager, too, because of his background and everything that he knew and his knowledge, and very sharp guy. And so he's worked on the ops side. He's worked behind the bench. He's done a lot in the development of players. And maybe it came down to between him and Ryan Craig for the head coaching job here in Henderson.
And that's fair, honestly. That's a fair perspective to go with. And also, to be fair, on the Golden Knights side, I don't think you can make the wrong decision between those two. Like, I don't think one can necessarily, like, I don't know if that's a spot where Donscov should have, again, we're shooting at the hip right now, but I don't think that's a spot where Donscov would have drawn the line in the sand and said, listen, I want this Henderson gig. If you give it to Craig, I'm gone. And maybe that's what happened. We don't know. We just don't know. I hope it didn't go down like that, but it wouldn't surprise me if it went down like that. And, while we're talking about assistant coaches on the rise, you have to wonder where John Stevens' head is at right now. I mean, he's been a head coach a couple of times right now. It was okay. And then like the following season, or like a few seasons after, he would have a slow start, and he was unfortunately relieved of his duties, so to speak. So you wonder if he's just simply going to be a career assistant coach, and he might be happy doing that. Or, does he have a little more of an ego and he wants to be the man? And someone I got to think would have to give him the opportunity. I did a story about John Stevens' day with the Cup, and he has just this awesome jewelry collection, if you will, of his pendants and Stanley Cup rings and all of his AHL stuff he's earned. Yeah, exactly. And
that wasn't
two
a
at the
gang
Kings,
sign.
two at the Kings, and then that was not a gang side. No, I know, Tony.
Okay.
That was a Daft Punk 3. But and something else I learned about Stevens, he's
time.
one of us 16 men to win the Calder Cup as a player and as a coach. So that's kind of cool, his AHL accolades, and he's obviously adding a few NHL accolades as well.
A lot of hardware. Phil Ketzel had the Cup yesterday, low key. We haven't seen photos emerge, but I'm sure he enjoyed his day at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I think he's probably down in Tampa, if I had to guess. I
thought he's in Canada. He could
in Canada, be okay. I know he's on a trip right now. But I was talking to him about buddy. Let's see where he winds up. I'm setting the line if he doesn't re-sign in Vegas. I'm setting the line either at Tampa or Florida, because that's where he does have a home. So we'll see.
So what is this feature that's coming up next?
Shut up, Tony. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, that I'm just programmed to say that. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this, guys. We're gonna have some fun with this. Like
at my expense.
Again. Like definitely, it's everything is at our expense, Tony. Believe me. Logan Hill and Aiden Thompson. No, so we're gonna try something, guys. Tony is gonna fire off a take, probably ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tony.
I am.
And I'm gonna either say "Shut up, Tony," or I'm gonna say "Okay, Tony," which which are maybe terms like the most positive ways to put it, and then we'll talk about it. And we haven't rehearsed it. I have no idea what Tony's about to say.
I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to say.
And that's even better then. So yeah, we're going to have some fun. So there you go.
We'll be back with more after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas.
It's probably the better segment not to have a sponsor for.
That's true. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Well, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or some variation thereof.
I still got the sign from the other day from the coffee mug. I put it on my desk just to have.
Okay, I'm just confused with this 3 times a week deal. We've been going for months on end, 5 days a week. And again, if any news does break, we'll, of course, fire up a little podcast there. So shut up, Tony. Okay, so what are the parameters? Are there any rules, or what are we going to do here?
We have rules on the just say something, and I'm going to either tell you shut up, Tony, or okay, Tony. Then we can BS about it for a little bit.
Okay. So
here's our new graphics package. They want us to get from Locked On. There it is. Oh, Sean, if you watch this show, I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, sorry, brother. Okay, so let's start here. So NBA Summer League was here over this past over 10 days, and it just completed. And I went a few times. So the Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship of the Summer League of the tournament. And you know where I'm going to go with this. They received championship rings. They were already done, custom made. They just have to size them up. And it looked like they maybe spent about $5,000 to $8,000, which was pretty good per ring. They had some Hollywood jeweler do. It's kind of cool. And so that's probably going to be the equivalent at this stage of what Bill Foley is going to spend. Mr. Big Spender, $500,000 to $600,000 on championship rings. That's what he said he's going to spend. And so they look like $5,000 to $6,000 rings. He said that, again, he's just being a cheapo. He acted like he was Mr. Moneybags there, and he does have tons of money. I'm going to give Mark Stone $500,000 to $600,000 to get rings. Great. Last year, we saw Colorado spend $50,000 to $60,000 for each ring. So, and furthermore, I'm going to keep going here because you're not stopping me, so that's good. I'm not getting interrupted. The NHL says yesterday, because I'm talking about the NBA and what have you. The NHL yesterday says they will not follow the NBA lead, Chris, by having a mid-season tournament.
I'll give that an okay, Tony. I'm not going to knock you down on that one.
Okay, This is why the league is at number 4.
Well,
There's
because of
no
okay, now I'm going to
innovation.
say shut up, Tony. Now I say shut up, Tony.
There's no innovation with this stinking NHL.
Right, but in season, like mid-season, right? That
right,
was your
mid-season.
okay.
Yeah, mid-season, in season, okay.
Right, but why would the players there's enough
Money.
There's enough to
Money.
discuss about the players going for the Olympics in the middle of the season. Like Mark Stone goes to play for Team Canada in February, tweaks his back, and although maybe that's part of the plan, but tweaks his back and he can't come back until the playoffs. Bad example, but you don't want to lose any member of your team playing in a non-NHL game.
No.
End of story.
No. It's an NHL game because in the NBA.
So you're saying it'll be a plane.
The NBA is playing a tournament as part of their season schedule.
You're saying at the end,
and then the
right,
finals
they're
are going to be
playoffs.
here, and the finals for the midseason tournament will be here. The winning team makes $500,000 per player here in Las Vegas.
Why not do that? Why not do that at the end of the season? Do it with the prospects or something.
So much money. That's why money. And this again.
Shut up, Tony.
The salary cap is so weak in the NHL. I mean, your top players making $10 million. That's starvation money, man. Like
Shut up, Tony. Shut up, Tony. I mean, listen, I know they can't. Now, to be fair, Steph Curry is a man of many talents. He's a fantastic golfer.
Per player, right? $500,000 per player for winning. The NHL would pay them $5,000.
Okay, so all the more reason this thing ain't going to happen. I think it'd be cool if they morphed to Summer League.
That's
in Vegas.
That's for my next step, dude. My next
Tony.
step was Summer League here in Las Vegas. Yes.
I think a Summer League would be phenomenal. A Summer League would knock it out of the park. Dollar Loan Center would be a prime place for that.
Yep. NHL Summer League would be pretty cool. Again, with all those prospects, and you play each other. You beat the snot out of each team, and you come here. Maybe not 10 days, but maybe they started off slow as they did with the Summer League. NBA Summer League back in the day was, it wasn't 10 days, that's for sure.
It was and it was nothing. It wasn't even a big deal at first, and now it's becoming a spectacle here, and it's awesome. And
3 straight sellouts they had, and this again, there's this need for sports and for live sports. I think continually now,
especially right now, this sucks, and without hockey, this sucks right now.
Well, again, we're reaching for content here with this feature, whatever.
Okay, Tony, I agree. I'm with you on the reaching.
It appears to me there's very few owners. He's not the only owner, but Bill Foley's one of the owners that knows how to gouge the public and gouge the sponsors and how to make money. They don't know how to make money in this league, and there's nothing innovative. And a summer league might be kind of cool. We know the prospects are going to be coming here with the rookie league or whatever that weekend or week will be. But they need to do more. That's why they're number 4. They're not constantly in the public eye. NBA season's over. They jump into summer league. They had the draft. They jump into summer league. It's a little quiet for now, but then it just picks up again. And they have a better cycle, I should say.
There is, I'll give you an okay, Tony, for most of that. When you said Foley about gouging,
he's gouging
whatever
people.
He's doing with the sponsors.
How much did your last hot dog cost?
Okay. Fair enough. I guess I can't argue that. But
okay,
how different is it here than any other markets?
Okay.
Well, when people from Toronto come to
Vegas,
they talk about how cheap it is to do things here. To be fair,
all right. So
and that's a currency change too. Keep in mind.
During the pandemic, of course, a lot of teams did this as well. It's not just VGK. They did not reimburse their sponsors for money for not having any signage on the ice, and now you're still, as a sponsor, paying like the same exorbitant amounts of money to sponsor this team with those stupid pop-up logos on the walls, on the side walls, whatever.
That's a Bettman thing right there, but I hear you.
Okay, and in any event, so one final take here. Did I have any takes? I don't even know. I'm just, again, shooting from the hip.
You're shooting at the hip, but it's good. I'm just kind of coming in, telling you shut up or okay, and it's good.
Okay.
This is good.
All right. So Brett Howden, one of 22 players that has filed for arbitration.
Which a lot of those cases are being settled right now, too.
Yes. Tomorrow will be the first day, actually. For arbitration hearings.
Right. Yeah.
And then some were settled. Correct. But it could be a good or a bad thing because the reason why teams do not want to go to salary arbitration is because there's battles. There's battles in the room. Player agent in one corner, in the red corner. And then you have the team and the ownership group in the other corner. And then the arbiter just wants you to fight and go at it. Why do you deserve the money?
These need to be
Why don't
videotaped and
Yeah,
I would
telling
watch
you,
that. I'd pay for that.
It would be pretty ugly though, and it does carry over in so many instances. I think it was the Hockey News that had a case of PK Subban and how ugly it got. And after he won his arbitration case, Max Pacioretty, they stripped him of his captaincy, right? And Max Pacioretty, I think, became the captain there and all that. So how did Wantz? Okay, so go back, look at his salary history. He made maybe $700,000-800,000 before he arrived in Vegas,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
They had what was he doing at the time? Bartending or doing something? Okay.
New York Rangers, bartending, whatever. Shut up, Tony.
Whatever.
Keep going.
Okay. So he got a jump when he came to Vegas, went from 700,000-800,000 to 1.5. So that's pretty healthy. That's a pretty healthy sort of a jump, rather, I should say, in salary. And now he wants to go to arbitration. He made 1.5 million with VGK, and you come off of a championship season. You were a starter on this team, and VGK still wants to pay this guy the same amount of money, 1.5. I don't care about the salary cap.
No, I'm going to say a shut up, Tony. I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I'm going to give you a shut up, Tony. So his contracts, yes, you're on the money, like between 920 and 860 from 16 to 21.
Okay.
2022, he goes to 885. 2023, he goes to 1.5. Right. Now, let's be clear.
Right here, when he got here to Vegas, 1.5. Okay, great.
Right, but in the regular season, his stats dropped by basically a per game basis with games played and points scored by like 30 or 35%. But his playoff run was very good too. He had 5 goals and 5 assists in 22 games and routinely found himself up on the line 2-ish. I say that because it depended on
he's got his own line. He's got
his own line. But depending on which broadcast you watched, Mark Stone's line was the second line and William Karlsson's line was the second line, however you want to put that. So Here's what you have. You have the Golden Knights saying, listen, bro, you didn't do as well in the regular season, but you did well in the postseason. So here's the same amount of money. Okay, fine. Now you got Brett Howden saying
he's a starter on a Stanley Cup team.
He's on the second line, and that's what Brett Howden is trying to tell the Golden Knights.
And he does deserve slightly more. I think we're both in agreement on this.
How much are they possibly fighting about, though? That's what I don't understand.
I would go up to $2 million and call it a day, and then settle things.
I called 1.8.25 the final number. I called 1.825 the final number.
I'm taking the over of 1 point. Shut up, Chris. I'm taking the over on that one.
It's a good line. It's a good line. I'd say a loser shaves their head, but I already shaved my head. So
yeah, I don't have much to shave. Okay, so I'm losing more hair by doing this show. But they offered him the same amount of money, which makes no sense. And so, yes, I would fight for a little bit more.
Shut up, Tony.
And you pay him as well, because I'm going to go back to a Golic special. Hey, pay Kessel, bring him back, because
$1 million, $1 million. But Kessel also had 30-something points last season, which was his lowest ever.
Comic, and he hangs out at Chuck E. Cheese.
I like Kessel. He's a good dude. Kessel's a good dude. I'm going to tell him you said that. I'm telling him you said that next time I see him.
I'm done. That's my mic drop.
Okay, Tony. There you go.
That was fun.
Again. That was good.
We'll be back again. Did that work out the way you wanted it to? Because I'm just shooting from the hip here.
I mean, does the show ever work out the way we want it to?
No.
Okay.
Do we ever plan a show? That's more like
it. Here's why that segment fumbled a little bit. We did a lot of planning for that one. We exchanged like 4 texts about it.
So what do you want to do? Again, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you, especially our everydayers, the folks that just put up with our nonsense each and every day. On Friday, it's WTF, What the Friday. And make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is definitely cooking. And find the podcast wherever you get your podcast. From a man, Chris Golic, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. I'm a little bit off. I'm not going to lie. It's summertime.
Okay, Tony. I agree with that.
See you again on Friday right here on Locked On Golden Knights.